Okay, all right. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back to everybody online to another Hebrew Chosen Elect Sabbath class. We'll be picking back up this week in the book of Exodus chapter 20 and up. Before we get started, as usual, a couple of announcements. Before getting started. All right. Upcoming new moons and feast days. Today is July the 12th. So next new moon will be celebrating will be June the 20th, July the 26th. That's the 5th month new moon, July 26th at sundown. And the next new moon, August 24th. Next new moon after that, September 23rd, taking us into our next High Holy Day season, which will be celebrating the Feast of Trumpets, September 28th at sundown. September 28th at sundown. So next new moon, July 26th. Next upcoming High Holy Day, the Feast of Trumpets, September 28th at sundown, followed by Day of Atonement, Feast of Tabernacles, and then Feast of Dedication. Contact information. You can contact me at through Facebook at We Are Israel Gemari Yashala. You can also contact Yakanan through Facebook at Brandon Daniels Yakanan Maccabee Yashala. And also, as usual, if you're not a part of our Facebook group, we ask that you go ahead and join that, the Rising and Chosen Israelite Facebook group on Facebook. Also, for edification, past videos, live classes, Sabbath reading. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channels. ACE Red Pill Reality and ACE Reloaded. ACE Red Pill Reality, ACE Reloaded. Please like, share. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos. If you consider yourself a part of this congregation, or you follow us on YouTube or Facebook, don't forget to share our content, to use us as vessels to push this word forth, and hopefully, Most High willing, wake up the elect, spread to the various different parts of the earth. With that, we'll go ahead straight into our Sabbath reading recap. Last week we dealt with the new covenant or old covenant. Are we in any covenant? We showed an example of how you even go into covenant as a people. We see that the Israelites were in the wilderness and literally agreed to, by word, sign the contract of the covenant. Something that we haven't done yet to even be in the new covenant. We also showed that when we're in punishments and curses and we've broken the covenant, the Most High said he's in covenant with us if we're doing those things required in that covenant. So the conclusion we came to is when we're scattered, we're in captivity, and we're in need of new covenant. We haven't came into it yet, which we haven't. We're outside of even being in covenant. Uh, that's according to the Bible. So, like I said, now we're going to pick back up where we left off, Exodus chapter 20, and going into Moses receiving the law from the Most High Yahweh and giving it to us, the children of Israel. Starting off with the 10 commandments, the top 10 that everybody knows of, which are really even the top 2 that Christ spoke of. Love God with all your heart, love your brother as yourself. That's the 10 commandments. The 10 commandments is separate. It's two different outlooks you can take to the 10 commandments. The first set, how to you're loving God with all your heart, they pertain to you and the Most High Yahweh. Then the last 5 pretty much pertain to you loving your brother as yourself. And then guess what? All the other laws, statutes, and commandments, they fall under what? They fall under those 10 categories. Right. So when Christ said, love your brother, all you got to do is love God with all your heart, love your brother as yourself. He wasn't changing anything. He wasn't taking away anything. He was basically grouping the whole law into those 2 categories, which are actually in the Torah. You find in the Torah, Leviticus, he says, love your neighbor as yourself. In Deuteronomy, in other places, he lets you know specifically, love God with all your heart. Those are laws as well. But that's the whole law. That's the whole law. Pertains to really the obedience to the Most High, which is loving Him with all your heart and loving your brother as yourself.
And the laws are picked up certain things that you can't do to your brother.
Yeah, it's
so that's where the 6:13 comes in.
Right. So you can't use this cup. It's a guide on how guides on how to do these categories of laws, these generalizations, right? That's what the 2 would be. That's what the 10 would be. So even past that, now when it gives us these 500 plus, 600 plus, however many you want to say it is, it's really even more than that. Because remember, Paul said when he made the law about not muzzling the ox that treadeth out the corn, he let us know, was he just talking about animals? Does he just have a care of beasts? Or was he speaking of more than that? That basically, okay, if your brother does something for you, pay him his wages, right? If your brother labors, he's worthy to take part in what he labored in. So he showed us that law, even though it's specific to how you treat that animal, it goes beyond that, right? So yeah, with that being said, we'll get straight into it. Exodus chapter 20, verse 1, it reads, and Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And we as Israelites, we use this scripture for often to explain Egypt being synonymous with bondage, with slavery, because this is the go-to. This scripture literally lets you know that Egypt is synonymous with bondage. So real quick, so this is why usually I got a document pulled up. This week I'm going with the Blue Letter Bible. That way we can go directly into words and meanings and the Hebrew and things like that. So he is Yahweh, our God, our power that brought us out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. So let's look at Egypt. Let's look at Egypt. And Egypt in the Hebrew is Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim, which has a meaning as well. I think that's one, but I think it's going to give us something different. I think it's double straights, which is this same thing, rock in a hard place, double straights. Land of Compt. What, I don't know what the hell a Compt is. But anyway, Egyptians, double straights, which, like you said, a rock in a hard place. It's a condition you find yourself in affliction, right? Which is exactly what slavery bondage is. So when you read Egypt, it's Mitzrayim, which means double straights. And the scripture lets us know Egypt is the house of bondage. And in the Hebrew, it's Mitzrayim. So just to show, like, the words have meanings. Every time you see Egypt or it talks about going back into Egypt, it's not just off of the definition, the meaning of the word alone. It shows you it's not just talking about some physical place on the map that we know to be the country of Egypt. So, hey, it's talking about going back to that location right there underneath of Israel. Egypt is Mitzrayim, which means double straights. Also, in ancient time, what was Egypt called? Let's just look that up real quick. I believe what some say Kemet, right? Is Kemet the proven one? Kemet, it's another one, ain't it? Let me see. Original name of the land of Egypt. Well, Egypt is an English word, right? But it's really Mitzrayim in the Bible. So the original name of the land, land of Egypt was Kemet. So it wasn't Mitzrayim. It wasn't Egypt. So we might have been in that land that was called Mitzrayim, but it was slavery that's referred to and talked about in the Bible when it talks about going back there or not going back there. Don't take yourself back into these double straights. How do we get to these double straights? Our disobedience. Our disobedience takes us to this condition. Our disobedience takes us back into Egypt. Huh? So yeah, now how do I go back? Right, so I'm trying to figure out how to go back. I keep hitting back, it's taking me the same place. Right here. That one? Right here. It's so much easier on the phone. On the phone, it's all right. Here we go. Took me down to verse 19. We didn't even get that far yet. All right, verse 3. So, verse 3, thou shalt have no other gods before me, right? Love the Most High with all your heart. Have no other gods. The Most High, Yahweh only. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. So we're going to have, it's not about making images. It's not about making images. You can't make any images of anything. It's you make them to serve them, to bow down to them. You can prove that by the priest vestments, right? You can prove that alone because he said put pomegranates on the vestments. He said take the stones and make the ephod and engrave the names of Israel. Right, you got the menorah, right? Khan. Solomon had the lion statues on the side of his throne when he made the temple, and he got the instructions on how to make the temple from who? David, who got him from the Most High directly, right? So it's not that we can't have images. It's the part of making images and calling them gods, making images and serving, right? Um, uh-huh. The stick in the wilderness. The what? The two together. The new one, like bringing. Oh. With the right. Con with the snake. You got me thinking because remember the Ezekiel he said make the stick with Judah and Ephraim. Right, Con. So right, he told Moses to make this stick and brazen serpent. Right, you talking about that?
Yes.
And that if they have faith, that they'll stop being attacked by these serpents. So Con. Okay. Where did I leave off? Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I am Yahweh thy God. It's like it. For I, Yahweh thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Showing what? Showing what? Can you get my grade back for me? Please. It's in there. So, huh? Right. But I don't word it. But like we got the scripture that says fathers not punished for the sons. Yeah. Well, I'll look it up real quick. Father not punished for sons. So kind, you're for those that hate Yahweh, their great grandkids, their great grandkids might suffer punishment for what they did. But then at the same time, it says, Deuteronomy 24:16. It's like you're pulling it up. The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Is this a contradiction? No.
Sin.
Huh?
Some of that very sin.
Right, but it states that he's going to repay that vengeance on the third and fourth generation. So if this isn't a contradiction, what's it showing? What's it showing?
I could see that it would be generational, where if the children have a seed, and they're not raising them up in fear and the admonition of both sides. That very sin can come upon them solely because the negligence of the father.
Read 25, 6. Is it 5? Read the verse right again from Exodus 20, verse 5 or 6. The one we just read.
Yeah, 5. Exodus 20 and 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Right.
For I am the Lord, thy God. I am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the father upon the children unto the third. And
So the iniquity, visiting the iniquity of the father, this specific man, the father, on the children. Go ahead.
Upon the children unto the third and the fourth generation of them that hate me.
All right. So now, John chapter 9, verse 1. Yeah. And my computer's freezing up. Yeah, John 9 and 1.
John 9 and 1. And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciple asked him, saying, Master, who did this sin?
So hold on. So the child was born blind from birth. Now they ask him the question, Master, what?
Who did this sin? This man or his parents?
So did this man who was born blind from birth, did he do sin? Is he being punished for sin? But he was blind since birth. Keep going.
That he was born blind. Yahushua answered, Neither have this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the work of Yahweh should be made manifest in him.
So Yahushua let him know that no, it ain't that. The reason is so that the work of Yahweh, just so he can heal them and show his power. But he didn't correct them on the question, showing what? You can be punished in this life for something that you did in the past. So what we read in Exodus 20 and 5 is regeneration. And in your regeneration, you can pay for something you did in past lives. Jacob, you had something?
Oh, I was going to add in that Deuteronomy. He was at the main point of that too is about idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go with the Exodus that's already, yeah, that's idolatry. That's one of the main things.
He was going into captivity.
Yeah, kind of.
Definitely doing bowing down to other gods. And the Most High saying, "You gonna pay for that generation we had with all the captivities."
Yeah, and we had, but even specifically, these captivities are going to happen, and you're going to come back in these captivities. You might come back in the siege that leads to captivity. You could come back and be in the siege and get slaughtered, right? In front, you might have been idolatrous in this life and come back in another life and be in the siege and get slaughtered in front of the statue that you've been worshiping, that you've been serving. But you're never going to get away. So regeneration happens, and you can't get away from the punishment of transgression against Yahweh, straight up and down. Let's keep reading back to Exodus. Verse 6. And it reads, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. That we talked about that last week. Conditions. Yahweh has grace. Yahweh is most graceful. Yahweh is most merciful. Yahweh is most loving. You know, 100 Israelite camps out there being held today. It's going to be 100, at least once out of 100 different camps, at least 100 times today. Somebody's going to walk up and say, God's love. And that's it. God's love. That's it. Yeah, he's love, but he's omnipotent. He's everything. His love is conditional. His mercy is conditional. His being in covenant with you is conditional. It's to them that love him and keep his commandments. Go ahead.
Not just balancing domination.
Right. That's a fact. He's balanced because he gives you a chance. He long suffers you with all types of folly, all types of sin, all types of idolatry. Like, just think about it. Fresh into the wilderness and what? Making a calf, right? Making a calf, ready to kill off everybody and just start fresh with Moses. Moses says, nah, God, don't do that. If you're going to do that, just take me out of your book, right? And he shows what? He shows mercy. He brings sacrifice, and he long suffers and lets you just keep on messing up and not loving him, right? Because he's showing that balance. But at the end of the day, if you won't love him, keep his commandments, that mercy he's going to take that mercy from you. You know, and that's one of the things, the dangerous doctrines that the Christian church has is the whole idea that Christ died, he brought grace, and you can do what you want. You don't got to keep the commandments. You can just live life because Christ died for everybody, right? And grace is true. He died and he brought grace. But we know a grace period is a time to get right. Titus chapter 2 lets you know grace period is a time to get right. But the Christian church teaches everybody grace is grace. You can do what you want. Basically, they teach grace is until Yahweh comes back.
They change the definition. They know what grace is.
They know what it means. They change the definition because
it what it means and everything.
Yeah.
When it comes to sin.
Mm-hmm. But that don't bring in dollars, right? So they change the meaning. So yeah, that's, mm-hmm. Yeah, to please the flesh. Matter of fact, it's doing opposite of what even the New Testament said, because it said, "Make not provision to your flesh." They've taken the truth of God, the truth of the death and rising of Yahweh Shai for our sins. They've taken that and made that a propitiation for the flesh. You know, and all these people, you know, is just stuck in the matrix, stuck in that hypnosis, and they're never going to change. But we know the Bible says that, right? Jude lets you know it. Isaiah lets you know it. There's people that's in blindness so that they can't be saved. That's Isaiah chapter 6. So, but this is something that, you know, it's our job though to keep on pushing the truth. It's our job not to compromise, not to agree to disagree, you know, to keep on pushing forth the truth and chopping down all lies, and whoever gets it, gets it. Whoever comes into the fold, that's the Most High bring them in. All we can do is you know, weapons of our warfare not carnal, and pull down the strongholds, right? So verse 6 lets us know that the love, the mercy is conditional. The covenant's conditional. It goes to those that love Yahweh and are obedient, keeping his commandments. Verse 7, thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy God in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Verse 8, remember this. That's another that goes with obedience too. Claiming to know God, claiming to know Yahweh, claiming to know Yahweh Shai, claiming to be underneath of their covenant. Their I'm in Yahweh Shai. I love the Most High, right? And then disobeying His commandments, you're taking His name in vain. It's all in vain for no reason. Verse 8. Remember, and this goes with that, what Yahweh Shai said, loving God with all your heart. If you love Him with all your heart, you won't bow down to idols. You'll keep the commandments. You won't take His name in vain. That's loving Him with all your heart. Also, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. So that means everybody. Some people, might think, oh, my slaves, they can work because they're slaves. No, it's everybody. Everything is shut down, right? Well, I go out on the Sabbath because it's heathens where I go. They serving me. I go to the heathen, the lounge that's owned by the heathen, the workers of the heathen. I'm keeping the Sabbath. No. Everybody's it's all supposed to be shut down. If they were your servants, you're supposed to give them that rest.
You're not supposed to buy victuals to the stranger that comes into the city.
Right. Nehemiah did what? He shut that down when they was doing it. But just because he shut it down in the city doesn't mean if you as an Israelite, well, when I'm within the confines of Israel, we don't do it here. But if it's out there, no. You're supposed to be keeping the standard, and you're supposed to, if anything, be the example. That's when you're not in control of the whole world. If we're in control of the whole world, if we have the dominion, you're got the different kings over 10 different cities like Yahweh promised. You're supposed to shut that down. These are the laws that the Israelites were supposed to have dominion over everything with. And everything is supposed to come underneath of that dominion. And like it says, we're going to read it, what we've read before. It's a law to you and the stranger. And the world was given to Israel. Yeah.
Israel can't get out of Israel no matter where you go.
Huh?
I said Israel can't get out of Israel no matter where you go.
Break it down more. Huh? Right. Your body's temple of God.
You can't get out the temple because you're the temple.
You're the temple. And like I was saying, the earth is given to Israel, was made for Israel. So that means once we come under the obedience, this law is supposed, the way Esau got it now, got the UN, and they got all these world laws, and then inside their countries they got laws. But at the end of the day, there's a top of the pyramid. They got the world laws that all the nations under that got to adhere to. Well, that's the way it's supposed to be, but flipped. Instead of the wicked laws run by the wicked that cover, it's supposed to be us. Running having the dominion with God's laws, with righteousness. You're saying something else? Huh? No? Okay. So for 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So, and you bring that up because I don't know if everybody did y'all. So I know me and Yaakov saw there was a debate of the lunar, does the Sabbath go by the moon or the 6 day cycle we're keeping, right? Are we the only ones? Did any of y'all see it? Last night, yeah. Believers of the way and Genesis.
Because I've seen it
Well, you didn't miss anything. All the information both sides brought out, you already know. You already have it. You've already heard it. You can look it over. You can study it. You can digest it. You can decide what you're gonna go with, right? But I honestly think like we keep the Sabbath we do because the law says keep it, and this is what we see as the closest thing to the truth, right? I can honestly say I think that neither side of us has it down. That we're both going to be shown the correct way when Yahweh Shah comes back. The same way when Moses came in the wilderness, why did he have to? He came down and he had to show Israel. Matter of fact, Yahweh told Moses, "This is going to be this. This is the start of your year, the first of the month of Abib." Right? If he had to tell him that, that means what? They didn't have that down before, right? And right, but hold on. Let me give you this perspective though. Like I agree, it don't the way they pushing it. I agree, but so the Sabbath is a feast day, and the moon is a sign of feast days. So think about this. Moses came down, gave the law that he got from God that we're to keep the Sabbath, and he also this is the start of your years. I personally think that it's a big possibility that the 7-day cycle started with that first day of Abib, and then there was a 7th-day cycle from there, and with that being the 7th-day cycle, every month didn't it what? So I feel like that cycle never stopped, right? But it started with the moon. You follow me? You follow me?
Yes.
So that was the first of the. So he came and he said, "This is the first of your months, right?"
See, that's the new moon.
It was new moon. So the first one, the new month, the month had to start.
Right.
And we know it's some phase of the moon. This ain't a. We ain't talking about that, but we know the moon in the sky is a sign of the feast days. So you know to count the feast days by the new moon because it's the 15th day of the month. But from that first, this is the beginning of your months, years, however you phrased it. Remember, the first of Abib. 7 days from there, a Sabbath. 7 days from there, Sabbath. And that cycle never stopped. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if that cycle never stopped, then months came in where you might have a new moon on Wednesday, and then does it not make sense? But I can't prove it, so I say it's just something to think about.
It was good for.
It had to start somewhere, right?
Good for informational purposes, but
I think you could find the information somewhere else on a way
that's
more.
true, but they presented it right there.
Yeah,
You could watch it for 3 hours or 3 hours long.
Yeah. But it was a lot of
Yeah.
it was like entertainment. It was a lot of extras in there. But so either way, we do the best we can. It's 6 days work, rest on the 7th. And I think if
that's ongoing, right?
It's on.
Every 6 day on that you can do what you want.
Yeah.
Every 7 day, no matter.
It's the 7th day. So, but
you still got it's a Sabbath.
so what we got today, though, we got what we got. And if you believe what you're keeping, and you're keeping it, I'm not going. And it's different from what you're keeping it. You shouldn't be kind of like throwing shade at me because I don't believe you the same way. I'm not about to throw shade at you, even though I don't believe what you are like you. And both sides got stuff that's like, okay, that makes sense. If you're looking at it from an honest perspective, both sides put out information that makes sense, both sides. But because I feel like this side is the most on the right side of it, right? You shouldn't be throwing shade. Right, makes more sense. But you think the opposite. Okay, I'm not throwing shade on you. At least you keeping it. Don't throw shade at me. It should be like that. And that's where like these debates, I don't really like them. It's more like watching contests on TV. They really, to me, rounds and get and then who won, and then whoever won is thinking, so y'all gonna come and follow? We follow now, right? No, you just won a contest, like because if Mayweather had suffered one loss, right? Am I going to stop looking at him like he's the best to ever do it if I saw all the other 50 fights? No, but that's kind of what it is. Oh, you see that doctrine went down in this contest, so you need to start following me. No, it's a contest. I'm gonna follow by. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna study it, and whatever my eyes see, and after doing all the, scrutinizing, I'm like, this is the way that makes most sense to me. That's what I'm gonna go with. Because I'm not following man. Just because you won a contest that's set up that way, I'm not about to follow you because of that.
The thing that I don't want you to.
Yeah, we ain't got it. But
the biggest flaw in the whole lunar thing is the transition.
Yeah, that's right.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. That's one part that.
Like that right there, you gotta scrap it because it's like you don't see nothing about that.
Right.
In scripture. Yeah, underlying that you could find that understanding. So it's like, oh, what? Nah.
And then the whole, and then, like you said, not to harp on too much, but then the whole Christ thing. Like, it wasn't literal 3 days, and 3 nights. Like, okay, so was it 1 day because he got because he died on the Passover? Yeah, I remember, but is it really down to like he was dead for 1 day? Because he died on the Sabbath, right? And he rose on the first day. Matter of fact, when the first day morning came in, he was already, they came to the sepulcher, he was already rose. So he was only dead for like 24 hours. So yeah, but so the point is, keep the Sabbath and keep it in sincerity and truth. If you believe it's the best thing that we have to follow is the calendar we got, follow that. If you truly believe that it goes by a lunar and you got transitional days, follow that. But it don't got to be all the throwing shade at each other about it, right?
Are you keeping the Sabbath?
Yeah, don't forget the weightier matters of the law, loving your brother as yourself. Because of what you think is the right way for this specific, how to keep this specific law when we all just came out of darkness. Remember, we're 400 years in America, and our forefathers didn't teach us nothing. So we got to have a little bit of humility that way and understand, like, as long as you ain't going off to the point of making a Jesus Christ Day on Thanksgiving and Christmas and eating pork, let people be. At least they try. And y'all know what I'm talking about. That remember that the dude eating the ham and on Thanksgiving and calling it Christ Day. Yeah, Howard Shy Day. Yeah. As long as you ain't doing nothing like that, come on, let people be. It ain't that, The funny thing is, everybody that does those shades, they'll still teach to their congregation. We don't all believe the same thing, and it's going to be that way till Christ come back. He's going to set things straight. So you'll say that, and then you'll throw shade. That don't make any sense. So you shouldn't even say that. Matter of fact, I'll be seeing a lot of times the way sometimes people bring out what they believe, even though they'll say like nobody has the whole truth. But they act like they have the whole truth. So just say it. You might just say it. Just at least that's one thing I'll give credit to, like the GMSs and UPKs, even though like it's BS. But at least they just come out and say it instead of like not saying the opposite, but then acting that way. Just say you believe it. Just say you believe you got the whole truth. Nobody else does, and at least you're honest about it. Because that's one of the commandments we about to go into, that being honest. Yeah.
I have a scripture here. Isaiah 29:14. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work amongst this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid.
Yo, and you know what? We've seen a lot of that just through the little bit of time that we've been in the Israelite community, or that's for everybody. No matter how long you've been, a little bit of time, you've seen this happen at some point in time with somebody. Read that again. What verse?
That's Isaiah 29:14.
14. Read that again.
Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid.
You've seen man after man after man come, right? And they full of wisdom, they mighty in the word, they got the precepts, they know how to teach, they got the wisdom, and they got the speaking and teaching ability of a wicked ass Negro like Michael Todd. You know, they got the best of both worlds. And then they end up falling to the wayside. They end up talking about you can rape women and nobody's listening to them. They end up talking about the prophesying things that don't come to pass. So they end up doing homosexual acts in their home and trying to prostitute the wives. You know, you see these things happen. And it's just like this scripture that came out. It's kind of marvelous when you see it. Because when it happens, you're like, what? In high school, you was the man, homie. What happened to you? That's how it be.
It's like a lot of scoffers that come out. You know, get a platform, speaking well, trying to teach, we're going opposite. You're always going against us. Oh, down the road, you don't still know that.
Yep. And I believe that it all boils down to that inner heart of you having, humility, actually loving your brother as yourself, having the fruits of the spirit that you're supposed to have. Right? Remember, Yahushua said, don't seek to be the greatest, because the greatest among you shall serve the paraphrasing, the lesser. I think people forget that. And I think one of the ways they forget it is getting these doctrines and having a lot of knowledge and it sound good, and they get puffed up with it. And they start to throw shade and look down on anybody that's not really seeing it their way. Like a lot of these cats that's doing I see a lot of shade throwing. A couple years ago, they was, following Passover in the club. But most people, there was some that really, threw shade at them, but it was a lot of us that kind of just didn't really throw shade and let that be, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Most I
got handled it, but then now it come out and you done left off from the guy that you was following. You're kind of doing the same things that got him where he's at. I'm just saying. So it's something that we gotta be careful of, Something we gotta be careful of. That's all. But like the commandment says, 6 days shalt thou labor, the seventh shalt thou rest. And it says, the stranger, everybody in your gates is supposed to be following this too. So that, like I said, that X's out. You can't just say, okay, I'm going out to a bar, a lounge, and it's the heathens working, so I'm not breaking the Sabbath. No, your heathen servants, they wasn't supposed to be working. You can't say that. And we got to be that example. Light to the Gentiles means the example. Paul said appear blameless. Appearing blameless means can't nobody catch you teaching to keep the Sabbath and say, hold up, why are you telling me I gotta keep the Sabbath? When I saw you at the club last night, wasn't none of these guys around you. You was alone, but I saw you though. You had them fringes on. Right. You was at the bar. You had 3 drinks, and I saw you get more after I came. Oh, they was heathens. No, that's the scripture says the heathens get that day off too. So we can't do that. And this you also right, and you also can't say, yeah, the Sabbath's made for me. No, it says business is shut down. So you rather go keep your Sabbath because it's for you with the heathens and out in some establishment that's making money on the Sabbath, but don't ever want to come around your brothers, your sisters that's in the truth, that's actually Israelites. It don't work like that. Verse 12. Number 11 again. For 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy God giveth thee. So this would fall under that first commandment too. Loving Yahweh with all thy heart, because what is your father and mother? They're the earthly version of your father in heaven, and your mother being the law and wisdom, right? Yeah. So if you can't honor the people that birthed you, earthly father and mother, that's kind of like the scripture says. If you can't love your brother who you see, how can you honor your father in heaven who you don't see? So if you can't honor your physical earthly father and mother and do service to them and reverence them, how can you do that to your father in heaven that you can't see? Exactly. And also it's supposed to be kind of unconditional. It's supposed to be the same way you honor the father. If you don't like what he's doing, how things are going for you, are you going to buck up against Yahweh? No, you're not. It's supposed to be the same thing with your parents. Because a lot of people, they tend to try to judge their parents. Oh, you didn't give me this, or you wasn't there for this, or you weren't there for that. Or I don't know, where was you in my hardest times? Or even you left me. I ain't seen you. I ain't seen you since I was 5. Well, the Most High gonna deal with it. We're not supposed to take it in our hands to try and judge them. Huh? Resentment. Yeah. You're supposed to let that go. For one, you don't know what circumstances caused it. But even if it was something like this off, he was a deadbeat, or she was a deadbeat mom, and just hated their children. Most High gonna handle that. He still chose them to bring you into the world through them. So the scriptures say, honor thy father and mother. And also, especially if you're in the truth. Like if you was in the world, you didn't understand this, then part of your repentance is you forgiving them of all the resentment you got for them, because now you also understand that it was a curse anyway. So the things that you went through, the way they treated you, might be a part of, they was under that curse. Deuteronomy 28 and 54, right? So now that you understand that, you definitely got to let it go. Because the Most High showed you why these things sometimes are, and he showed you that it doesn't matter. He's going to judge them.
Like you said earlier, that father that was an absentee father could be contending with some things that transferred over through the regeneration.
Exactly.
And so the Lord is dealing with him on an issue that he's
right.
trying to overcome.
Right. Right. It's so many different, angles and reasons. Right. But the one thing is true. It says, honor thy father and mother. Because The Most High might be absentee to you. He kind of is, not right now, but he's been, him letting us go into slavery is him walking away. But he did it for a reason. He gave us chances. So you're going to look at him, say, be resentful, like, yeah, Most High, man, how you going to let us go into captivity? How you going to let them do that to us? Well, here, Negro, read. I gave you everything. How you going to turn from me after all this I gave you? You know, so honor thy father and mother. These five, they go into that category of that one that Yahushua gave. You gonna love the Most High with all your heart. Now we're gonna go into the next five are in that category of the second thing Yahushua said. Love thy brother with all thy heart. Thou shalt not kill. Verse 14, thou shalt not commit adultery. Why? Love your brother as yourself. Would you? It's easy. These are basic. These are so easy. You want somebody to kill you? No, hell no. You don't want nobody to take your life. You want somebody sleeping with your woman? Hell no. You don't want to share your woman. So, hey, y'all paying attention? You treat your brother the way you want to be treated. This goes beyond just kill. Don't get it twisted. This goes beyond just killing and adultery. So watch this. Do you want somebody to slap you in the face? No. So don't slap them in the face. Do you want somebody to eat your cupcakes? No. So don't eat their cupcakes. Right? Do you want somebody to claim your playground as theirs? Huh? No. So don't claim their playground as yours. That's committing adultery. Because your wife is your land. Think about it. Your wife's your land. So you don't want somebody, matter of fact, America, this shows how wicked America is. This shows how wicked America is. If you have a house and you just don't feel like dealing with it because you have another house and it's just sitting, and then however long, 15 years, but then at the end of that 15 years, you want to go back and you want to do something with it. You might want to give it to one of your kids. You might want to fix it up and rent it out. Whatever you want to do with it, it was yours. It was either passed down or you bought it, whatever. But somebody done moved in. Some crackheads or homeless people have moved in and they've been there for 5 years. What's America say? You can't kick them out. They give them squatter rights.
Or if you don't pay your property taxes on that house.
That too.
Right? Your house can be paid for.
Your house can be paid
for. They want to develop the land. They can bulldoze your house because
right.
You don't pay property taxes. But this is your house you own, you paid for, but because the land you ain't paying taxes on, they can demolish your house and build on that.
And guess what? That bill was signed by a bunch of men that wouldn't want that done to their self. They wouldn't want that to happen to them. And now just because they know the loopholes and now they know all the laws and they're going to avoid it, they think it's okay to put that law down to happen to you, and it's going to happen to you because you don't know no better. No. See, you're not supposed to take advantage of those that you're not supposed to put a stumbling block in front of the blind. That's another one we're going to see in the law. But that all goes into these 10, which go into that too. Loving your neighbor as yourself. The people that give that property over to them squatters wouldn't want that happening to them. Them squatters that come and take that house because it's been sitting, now they own that house. In 20 years, if they done made it and able to get another house and they leave, they gonna want to keep the possession of that house they got off the spot. Nobody wants it to happen to them, but you'll go and you'll do it. Verse 15, thou shalt not steal. Squatters. But yeah, you love your brother as yourself. You don't want him to steal from you. So why would you be stealing from him? Verse 16, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Who likes to be accused of something they didn't do? So you're going to do it to somebody else? No. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Because if you do that, that means you bearing false witness, you're doing it for a purpose. You're doing it to either avoid your own personal demise or you're doing it to cause their demise. Verse 17.
But that right there is a law that the blue wall is predicated, bearing false witnesses to the truth if you kill a man for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Unlawful traffic stop. Where they are sworn an oath to one another to lie.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm about to say that.
And they and that happens, and they lie about why they did it, and then they just continue to lie and bear false witness. And then the media starts bearing false witness and painting a picture of what a evil, wicked Negro that was.
Man that tells the truth, it's in trouble.
That's why you know this is the place. This is the place that Revelation talks about. That's how you know it. Because all these things that we see in the law, the commandments of God, they fit not just individuals, they fit this country. The land stolen. Bearing false witness against your neighbor. They lie, they bear false witness against any and everything. Especially against black people, Hispanic people, Native American Indian people. Right? They did all these cruelties to Native Americans, and what's the thing? What do you think about when you think about cruelties between the Native Americans and white people? You think about scalpings before you think about Gatling guns. Just in general, right? Because that's the picture that was painted to us in school. Right, and we believe it.
That's why they took us and segregated us to go to their schools, because we surpassed them in everything before we got to that school. Now we've been at everything like stoplight and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Certain engines and things attached to the engines before we got with them in their school. So we were selling past them. So in order for them to stop us, you had to put them, go through with them so they can slow us down.
To indoctrinate.
Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that calleth evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
And that's America all day long, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They call it evil good. 5:20. They call evil good. Let's talk about some of the things they call good this evil. Gay marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Gay marriage. Men marrying men. Women marrying women. Transsexuals. Even the changing of your appearance. Even just like you think about it, even the plastic surgeries, the BBLs and all that. The Most High didn't. So the way the Most High made you, you're saying that he messed up, right? But they call that good. It's okay. The medicines. Let's talk about the medicines. They make up medicines that heal one thing and they cause another thing. So you might heal from cancer and then get heart disease. Like they even some of them they'll put on commercials and say, yeah, take this, and side effects are headache, nausea, prostate cancer. It gets worse and worse as the commercial goes. Prostate cancer, heart attacks, foot rot, whatever you think of. It'd be 15 different things you don't want no parts of in the same commercial. But it's gonna heal your blood clot.
Yeah, the whole thing about it is they replace real medicine for their fake medicine
Mm-hmm.
just to make money.
Yeah.
They're not in the business of killing you or people. They're only in the business of making you sick and making you stay sick.
They call insurance good, right? But watch how evil it is. So you go to a pharmacy. If you ain't got insurance, if you ain't got that insurance, the medicine costs like $800, right? And you might have 3 different medicines that cost like $800, $500, whatever, right? Your monthly payment to the insurance is like, let's say, $50 a check. That's $200 a month. So every month you're paying $200, but your insurance is paying for your medication. They cost like $800, maybe even you add them up, it's like $1,200. They're paying for it, but you're only paying like $200 a month. So they make it you have to have the insurance. That medicine don't really cost that much. They because it wouldn't make sense. Why is the insurance company going to pay for your medication every month? They cost 5 times as much as you're giving them. That don't make sense. But this is what they push to be good. You need the pharmacies, you need the insurance, you need the whole thing. But it's really, you look at it, it's a scam going on. It's evil.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Right.
When they turn around and they tax you, right? But tax you so that you can have a safety net. Some of your subsidies that are being canceled today, Section 8, and all of these are different safety nets for the poor,
Mm-hmm.
right? But yet they can take it from you after taxing. They're not reimbursing. They're going to take my Social Security from me. They give me my Social Security money back. If you're going to take Medicaid back or some type of medical plan for me for the future in my old age, they give me back the things you took from me. They don't.
Right. But yeah, that's just some of the things that this country calls good, but it's evil. And then they call good evil. One of the things they call evil is what? Let's bring out truth of this Bible. They call that evil. You teach what the Bible actually says. That's hate speech.
Yeah.
And
That's hatred.
you question a people claiming an identity. Just question it. They call that evil. But it's not evil to question everything. The Bible says, prove all things. So just how is it anti-Semitic to question it? And how is it anti-Semitic if you're Semitic to say somebody else ain't Semitic?
How is it that when we bring up the truth, said everybody can't be saved? Christ didn't come after everybody, but you don't want us to say that. You want us to tell a lie and say yes, it comes from everybody.
Mm-hmm. Call good evil, evil good. Let's go back. Verse Exodus 20:17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So you're not supposed to be looking at what your neighbor has and wondering, is that talking about you shouldn't want the same things he has? No, it's talking about you want his stuff. You don't want a wife that's good as his. You want his wife. You don't want an ox that's as strong as his. You want his ox. It's already strong. I know it's good. He has it, but I want his. His manservant, his maidservant. No, you're supposed to. The point of this is because it's like when Yahushua said, you look on a woman to lust, you commit adultery already. Because you're lusting after her, and even though she has a husband, because you sitting there lusting, eventually it's going to turn into an action. So you've already did it. So same thing, huh?
The thought is there.
The thought is there, and it's to a certain level where it's coveting. You're eventually going to do it. So you're not supposed to look on your neighbor's anything of his house and covet after him. It's cool to see it and be like, he's being blessed. I want that, and set goals. But that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to now set those goals and go about attaining it the right way. Maybe ask him how he got there instead of trying to going to take the stab him in the back and try to take it and make his stuff yours.
It's also like Esau as well as Satan. And we see how Satan contended with Job. It wasn't about getting the things that Job had, it was about destroying Job. So the very spirit of that nature of wanting your neighbor's thing is because the end result is that you want to do him harm. This is an external way of doing harm to him. And that's the same way that Esau operates in this case.
Right.
By strip going out of Jacob's people. And even at the expense of damaging his own people, because his end result is the attack on Job or Job's people. On the attack.
And what does he do? He covets everything. Once again, this country is built off of what? Breaking this command. Like the gentrification system. I put you in this neighborhood, it's trash, but once there's a profit in it, now I'm trying to move you to another one. Now I'm trying to take your neighborhood. It's garbage anyway, but I see there's $1 in it. And now I'm going to take that, I'm going to move you somewhere else. That neighborhood is going to get cheap. Then I'm going to come in, I'm going to take that. And then you got your reservation. There's oil, there's a good land to put a pipeline through. I made you take this land, but now guess what? I want it because I'm coveting my neighbor's house. I'm coveting the things my neighbor has. That's America. That's America. The America is the opposite of thou shalt not steal. It's the opposite of thou shalt not bear false witness. It's the opposite of thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Yeah, they claim to follow the Bible.
Yeah, they claim to follow the Bible.
Christian-based nation.
Yeah, look at the Pledge of Allegiance. I forget how it goes. Hold on.
The what?
Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America. Under God. Yeah, see? Under God. Really?
For all.
Really? This nation's under God? Liberty, justice for all? Really? How's a squatter right justice? Not to mention all the non-justices that happen in the courtroom. The squatter right. How is that justice? Like just the whole judicial system of you got your public defender who's going to push the plea deals so that he can get that job in a couple of years, and so that the prosecutor can keep his or her guilty rate up. So, but you're instead of defending your clients, you're pushing the deals. That alone, where's justice in that?
They do what they want.
This is America.
And America's principles have always been built on stolen waters of sweet.
What do you mean by that?
Stolen waters of sweet. And Scripture talks about that, like referring to a man with another woman, a man with another man's woman, that in his heart he believes that stolen waters is sweeter than him just having the original thing. And America does that with all of its principles. It's just a spiritual principle, period, across the board. Rape, robbing, and murder. There's nothing better than rape, robbing, and murder. So you're forming your own forms.
You gotta be somebody
Building
else.
your own country. So it has to be somebody else.
That's what Americans did across the world. Well, not America.
Everything.
Across the world. You have to go and see others.
It's built on feudalism. Feudalism is might is right. Its whole system is always built on that principle.
This whole country is wicked as hell. Yet you got your political system and religious system. And that religious system claims to be um, so Christian, but this whole system is about breaking all the commandments. It's not in line with any of the commandments. Matter of fact, there's some laws it's in line with, like usury. Usury of those that ain't of your people, even though that's talking about Israel, but that's something they cool. That's one thing they're in line with. They'll participate in usury of especially us, but then also anybody else Chinese, Arab, anybody that's not called Caucasian nation, they gonna use usury.
You know, they do it with everything, though.
They do it, but I'm saying most the top though, they ain't doing it with each other. Like, yeah, if you're down with us, yeah, you gotta go to the banks and stuff, and you gotta pay interest rates. But I mean, hey, it's still your kingdom. You can get up out of this a whole lot easier. You know, you don't want to pay interest rates and just join the club. You know, you can and there's still preference, right? But this like up in the upper part of the pyramid, yeah, they ain't doing that to each other. Verse 18. Exodus 20:18. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. Verse 21, and the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where Yahweh was. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen, in all places where I record my name. I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. So he also gives us commandments of how to make the altar, that it be of earth. So not like we can't, the grills we got out back of our houses that we got from Lowe's and Home Depot, and propane grills, yeah, he don't want that. It's got to be from earth. You know, you got you can't take a bunch of cinder blocks and build the altar to the Most High. It's got to be of earth. It's got to be of stuff that he made, not that we done took and created. Verse 25. And thou wilt make me an altar of stone. Thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. So the stone has to be stone in its natural form. It can't be molded and altered to, you know, we think that we can please the Most High with making things that are good to us in appearance. But he's not seeing things that way. It's got to be made of stone that hasn't been altered. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. So, like, you think about it, if he feels that way with an altar and stones, like I was talking about earlier, a minute ago, how you think he feels about you going to the plastic surgery and altering your nose? Going to the plastic surgery and taking fat from your thighs and putting in your butt. Now you've polluted yourself because he made you this way, and he wasn't wrong. He knew exactly what he was doing when he made you that way. And if he made you with some type of imperfections or disease or whatever, he can fix that. He might have, maybe you're born with some type of skin disorder. Not saying don't go to the doctors for that, but I'm saying if you have faith, you can probably get use some natural things that he made of the earth and do some praying and repenting and can probably be healed. Well, you definitely can be, but you might be. You know, it's up to him. And you might be healed of it that way if you take that measure. But just you don't like the way you look, so you take up the basically the hew out that stone and make yourself to the fashion you want to be. Like, man, I wish my jawline was more defined, and I wish my beard would connect.
Highest level of man.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right. But so you polluted yourself. Verse 26. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. So that going to flip into the next chapter. Yeah, so he doesn't want you going up steps to the altar that your nakedness be discovered. Yeah, I'm waiting for the computer to flip this. Maybe I didn't hit it. I might not hit it right.
It's doing something.
All right, here we go. Chapter 21. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. So now he's going to give judgments and laws that go into the categories of the Ten Commandments. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. So what's this giving you? A Hebrew servant talking about an Israelite, right?
That's not a slave.
It's not a slave, right? It's a servant. It's a different level. It's not a bondman, right? He can serve you for 6 years. The 7th year, you have to let him go free for nothing. He doesn't have to pay you. That's a good thing to remember right here. The scripture letting you know that this Israelite servant, he goes free for nothing. What's that show? Some servitudes you can be bought out of. Just another one to go back to that Deuteronomy 28:68. No man shall buy you. No man shall buy you. This also shows that one way out is by being bought out, because this guy, he don't gotta be bought out. He can go out free for nothing on the 7th year. Go ahead.
So this is before, this is after Jacob. Didn't he serve Laban?
He served Laban and
was it 6 years?
But his agreement was, I believe, 7.
It was 7. So that still line up, right?
It lines up with that, but he made that.
Said the 7th year he shall go out
free for nothing.
So that's the law before the law.
It is, but it ain't because he didn't. Yeah, like Laban didn't buy Jacob.
Still a servant, right?
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, like he was like a hired servant. He was because like he's saying, he made that deal. He basically bought. Remember, you buy your wife from the father, so the payment for that wife was the time to serve. But then he did break that contract, though. But yeah, he was supposed to go out because that was the deal.
It line up with the law, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's real similar.
Yeah. Like I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Well, that was the father. See, he wanted to marry the daughter, but the father came up with that 7 years thing. You serve me for 7 years, work for me 7 years, then you can have my daughter. And then what did he do here? He agreed to what the father asked.
I think it shows, like, it goes into showing 7 being a number of completion, like in terms of like servitude, 7 years being a good amount of time to be a complete service for whatever is rendered, right? It's long to us today, but think about a world without TV, without the jobs, without supermarkets. It really ain't that long. Like that's why we're about to read. Some men might not want to leave because also, if you become this servant and your master gives you a wife, we're about to read it. Let's just read it. So verse 3. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. So if he came in already married, when he's free, she's free as well. Verse 4. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, so before I go there, so if the master give you a wife, he's basically giving you part of his property. When you go out free, he gets to retain that. He gets to retain that. That's the law. Right, but she and the sons and daughters, they're all his. Now you probably could, but you don't have. He doesn't have to. It doesn't say he has to sell. So he shall go out by himself, and if the servant shall plainly say, "I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free," then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever.
What does that mean?
It means he
shall bore his ear through.
He shall, like, you get an earring, it's your ear, so you'd be an earring. Like kind of like you like cattle, but you're probably not getting like something with a number. Right. Question? For this one, no, it's no in between. But they did bring up a good point. It is possible you could buy them out of it. It just doesn't say it has to sell them. But if you can buy servants, then it's possible. I'm sure everybody got a price.
You got to be willing to sell them.
Yeah, but it ain't going into that. It's really going into the first and foremost. Remember, Israel is being given land, right? How did you think about it? How did you get into this state where you're being bought as a servant? Something had to happen because everybody's getting a portion, right? Yeah. Once going into the land, everybody's getting a portion. And if you're keeping the commandments, he said he's going to what? He already said he's going to bless everything you have. So how did you even get in this state to have to be a Hebrew servant bought? You must have not been keeping up your part of the deal, right? Went to that. Thank you. Went to that nigga spirit, and now you a servant, and that wife you got, he already did you a good deed by giving you that woman, because every man wants a woman. But you came in, you was a servant. What he gave you is his. When you go out alone. Or like it says, if you love your wife, you love your kids, you love your master, then you can stay. But you basically got to make a decision. Am I staying for good or not? And I don't believe forever means forever, ever, because year of Jubilees, everything goes free. Right? Every time it says forever, it doesn't mean forever, ever, because that wouldn't make sense. Then what happens to your possession? What happens to your inheritance, which ain't supposed to switch hands, right? So let's even look that up real quick. Just see if Esau even broke it down that way. that forever isn't always forever ever.
Like the word all. Don't mean
Like all don't all doesn't always mean every single person. I just want to see real quick. Shoot, sometimes it just means time. This word. So look, first biblical usage: long duration, antiquity, futurity, and also forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient world. Like it's got different meanings. So yeah, I don't think it means ever. Right, context. So yeah, so considering you got the years of Jubilee and things like that, and you got the fact that your inheritance isn't supposed to be going to another family, it can't mean forever, ever like that. So I would say using logic at the year of Jubilee, that's going to stop. Like your forever is going to at least end at the year of Jubilee, which is every 50. Verse 7. And if a man sell his, so watch this too, because this is one I was looking into. I think we kind of twisted up a little bit, and you're going to see why. So if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, so first off top context is a man selling his daughter to be a maidservant. She shall not go out as the men servants do. If she please not her master. So a daughter maidservant shall not go out as the men servants do. Also, that's like at the end of 7 years. Just go free. And also, maidservants got different jobs, but this is talking about go out as the men servants do. Manservant is bought and can be leave at 7 years, right? If she please not her master who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. So if she don't please him, she can be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. So he can't sell her to a strange nation because why? She's a Hebrew. He can't sell her to a strange nation. Right. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. So if he bought her for his son, he should treat her like a granddaughter. I mean, a daughter-in-law, whatever. If he take him another wife, her food or raiment and her duty of marriage shall not be diminished. So we take this as a wife scripture, but look, now if you have a maidservant, you can take her as your wife, but you don't have to. That's why it says up above, if she please not her master, then shall he let her be redeemed. It's not talking about. That's not talking about if he lay with her, then she can just go back. It's not saying that. It says if she please not her master, she can be redeemed. He can't sell her away. So redeemed by who? Redeemed by who? Her family or somebody else of the nation. She can't be sold to a strange nation. That's clear. So look, why did I say it's not only wife? It says if he take him another wife is in italics. Who knows what that means?
Change the
No, that means it was added.
Yeah.
It was put in there. It's not there in the Hebrew. It was put there to give understanding. So it really reads, if he take him another, so what? Another what? Maidservant. If he take him another maidservant, and you're going to see why I brought this out. I'm going to explain it. Her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. What does marriage mean? Let's go there. First off, because I'm going to chop down the simp doctrine that we learned in the world. Some people brought into the truth. Her duty of marriage. Something fell out. Her duty of marriage. Definition of marriage. It's only one time. It's only one time in the KJV. This word, duty of marriage, cohabitation or conjugal rights. So to cohabitate, do you have to be married? If you have a maidservant that you haven't married, she's cohabiting, right? Okay. Now, it's also conjugal rights if you have laid with her and took her as your wife. Right. But just because you bought the maidservant doesn't mean you took her as your wife. And you could have bought her for your son, which doesn't mean he took her for his wife. But he could have. But you can't just negate the other. The fact that the context from the beginning is maidservant. So now when it says cohabit, so now what verse is that? If he take him another, her food, her another maidservant, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So that does not mean that you have to pay all the bills for your wife. You have to get her nails done. You have to buy the food. You have to pay the car insurance, whatever it is. Cats be out here getting their wives no house, paying the bills, and talking about it's my duty. She's my wife. You know, it's almost like it's the whole thing that was in the world where the man has to provide everything. The woman don't have to do nothing. But what's Proverbs 31 called a virtuous woman? Let's go there to prove this point further. Now, I'm not saying that a man shouldn't be doing most. He is the stronger vessel. But honestly, you're supposed to prove who you lay with before you lay with them. Same way a man's supposed to prove who he lays with before he lays with her. And if it ain't gonna work, then don't lay with him in the first place. Because Genesis lets you know that it's however he wants it to be. That's what the Bible says. But using this scripture to say a man has to pay for everything is false. And I'm gonna prove that right here with Proverbs 31. But just a disclaimer, I'm not saying that a woman paying all the bills is cool either. Like, yeah, man, I'm doing the work, man. Yeah, I'm doing the work. You got to pay the bills. I'm a priest. You know, I need you to pay the bills and pay for my plane tickets. I got to go teach camp in Texas. I ain't saying that either. But watch. Is everybody following? I know it's a couple of distractions. Everybody following? So somebody read this Proverbs 31 virtuous woman for me. Just to show that a man, if a man's supposed to pay for everything, then a man ain't supposed to be with a virtuous woman. Somebody read 31, Proverbs 31, 10 and down.
10 and 11.
Yeah, keep going down till I cut it off.
Who can find a virtuous woman?
Uh-huh.
For her price is far above rubies.
Okay, so this is the most valuable woman you're gonna find is a virtuous one. All right, go ahead.
Verse 11. The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
Go ahead.
She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life.
Okay. Keep going.
She seeketh wool and flax.
So the Proverbs woman, she seeks after wool and flax. Let's see why. Go ahead.
And worketh willingly with her hands.
She's a worker. She works with her hands, right? The wool and flax. Go ahead. There's more.
She is like the merchant ships.
Uh-huh.
Bringing her food from afar.
Wait, she brings him food. A virtuous woman brings him food. No, but man, you're supposed to bring everything to your wife. You the provider. You the stronger vessel. Yeah, you're doing all these things and wonder why you got a wicked woman. You want a virtuous wife. I want a virtuous wife. Go ahead, keep going.
She rises also while it is yet night.
Really?
Meat to her household.
Oh, wow. Wait. The man gives the meat to the household.
The woman.
The virtuous woman. I'm about to throw on a Geno Jennings voice. Watch. Go ahead.
Read it from the top again.
No.
She rises also while it is yet night.
She rises when?
And gives meat to her household.
She does. She gives what to her household?
Gives meat to her household.
Read.
And a portion to her maidens.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
Make me laugh while I'm reading.
Go ahead.
16.
Watch this. Salaki.
Scroll up.
Yeah.
I did.
She considers a field
Okay.
and buy it.
She considers a field and buy it, so she's kind of like remember the movie Hustle and Flow when DJ got locked up, the white girl started hitting the radio stations up and on. Yeah, a virtuous. Now she wasn't virtuous, but a virtuous woman does that. She gets to it like that. Go ahead.
With the fruit of her hands, she planted a vineyard. She girded her loins with strength and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good.
Okay.
Candle goeth not out by night.
Mm.
She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the staff.
Uh-huh.
She stretcheth out her hand to the poor. Yeah, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy.
Uh-huh.
She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
Her clothing is silk and purple.
Uh-huh.
Her husband is known in the gates. When he sitteth among the elders of the land,
Uh-huh.
she maketh fine linen and selleth it.
Oh, she's selling things.
Inmates.
Okay, interesting. Go ahead.
And delivereth girdles unto the merchant.
Uh-huh. Let's see if she does these things and she gets prideful and runs all over her husband. Go ahead.
Verse 25. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness.
No, wait. Her law isn't, nigga, I made all the money last month. What you doing coming in past 8 o'clock? She don't do that. I'm drinking tonight. You ain't, I pay most of the bills. I sold my Etsy account is booming. What you mean I can't drink? Go ahead. She speaks with kindness, even though she's also providing. Go ahead.
Verse 27. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness.
So she ain't going to the nail shop, going to the hair salon, getting all pretty, coming home, sitting around, drinking cocktails in the lounge chair, and waiting for you to come and provide everything, and getting drunk with her girlfriends and taking girl trips to Jamaica. That's not happening. Go ahead.
Verse 28. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her.
Mm-hmm.
Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all.
Go ahead.
Favor is deceitful,
Uh-huh.
and beauty is vain.
Right.
But a woman that feareth the Most High, she shall be praised.
Uh-huh.
Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gate.
So also give her the fruit of her hands, give her the honor due to her for her putting her brick in the household. You know, you still have duties to do as well. You are the stronger vessel. You know, we're not supposed to be sitting at home either playing video games, smoking weed while our women provide everything. That's not what it is.
The definition of help me.
Huh?
Definition of help me.
Yeah, right. A help meet. That's what a woman. So back to the point. That just proves that it's not a righteous or good thing to just provide everything for your woman. Not if you got a virtuous woman. And I think it's definitely if you come into the truth, you should be after virtuous women. We shouldn't be after women of the world that see things the opposite way. That see, matter of fact, that live this scripture the way it's been taught wrong, which is see that if you're supposed to continue to, if you get another wife, you're supposed to keep making sure your wife has the same amount. You gotta keep bringing her new clothes every week. You gotta make sure she got some car, and you ain't supposed to lessen that out. So if she had the whole house, your new wife, you gotta get her a new house because you can't diminish the house of your wife. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about it doesn't even have to be a woman you made your wife. The context is a daughter that's been bought as a maidservant. So what does that mean? Let's say it's a wife. Let's say it's a maidservant. You haven't made her your wife. She's just your maidservant. These things aren't supposed to be diminished because you got a new one. That's all. So say it's a maidservant. You're still supposed to provide food for the other maidservant. Say it's a wife. What you're still supposed to provide your portion of the house and not diminish it to give to the other one. But remember, you're getting Proverbs 31 women, right? Your wife in Proverbs 31 women, right? That should be two women who seeketh their wool and flax and worketh with their hands. So nothing's supposed to be diminished, but it doesn't mean providing everything. You got to provide everything for your woman. You got a wife, you got to get two jobs out. You might need a third. The bills is going up. The Delmarva Power just threw in a new extra bill that they ain't never had. You better get another job or you ain't being a man. Your wife gonna have to cover that. Nah. That virtuous woman proves that that's not what it's talking about. And also the scripture does. So back to the wife part. Wife is in italics, which literally means it's not in the Hebrew. So that part, just to prove it. See that? You see that? Wife. See it's blank. So the translator put in there for understanding. But every maid But if it's only wife, that means every maid servant you're buying to make your wife. That's not true. That's not true. So verse 11, and if he do these three unto her, then shall she go out free. If he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. So that means she can go free and don't got to be redeemed and bought back. So she don't go out free like the men servants do on the 7th year, free for nothing. But if you don't do any of these three unto her, then she can go out free. And then if you think about it, especially with the maidservant part, if she's your maidservant and not your wife, see, a Proverbs 31, she provides to the house. She goes and sells things, and she puts a foot to the plow, right? But a maidservant, she's doing whatever you ask. She might be stuck in the house all the time, cleaning, tending to the cattle, whatever you want her to do. How's she going to eat? How's she going to have food? You have to be providing that. But you're providing for yourself by her duties that she's providing you. So if you take another, you can't diminish what the first one has. You actually got two maidservants, so now you got two extra hands. And you should have enough to provide the same for both now. That's what it's talking about. And then if it's a maidservant, you can take her as your wife. She's your property. Con. And then with that, it's still, you don't diminish from one because of the other. That's the point here. Right? Any disputes? Make sense? Con. Verse 12. He that smiteth a man, so that he die, shall be surely put to death. And if a man lie not in wait, but God deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee. But if a man came presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, thou shalt not take him from mine altar, that he may die. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. So, the law is righteous in that it's not you commit murder, you serve in prison till you die, you rot away in prison, you rot away in solitary, or if you killed someone on accident, you go to prison for less years. All the different injustices America has when dealing with these things. The law is pretty straight up. If you killed a man and you meant to do it, it ain't no sit in prison and rot, going in solitary. Oh, we gotta pay taxes to provide you food every day. No, the man killed intentionally, he's got to go. If it was on accident, ain't no manslaughter, because I can't really prove all the way my case. So I'm gonna take this plea of manslaughter. No, then you have the city where the man that slew him on accident can flee to, which is still kind of like a punishment, because now you got to leave your family, everything you have, and you have to reside in this city until it's going to let us know until the high priest dies. But at least you're not in prison, and also you're safe from the family that might not believe it was an accident, or they're so upset that they want an eye for eye. They want your life now. So the law, if you look at it, is really set up a whole lot more righteous than America. Where was that? Oh, and he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. So that might sound harsh, but guess what? If this is the case, your children, when they're dealing with you, what are they going to do? They're going to think twice, right? They're going to think twice. It's not going to be this whole rebellious spirit that America has because you can't even beat them you like you once could. You kind of just got to take it, get counseling, hope for the best. No, there's a real punishment that children have to think about. So they're going to think twice. They're going to think 3 times before they think of being disrespectful. That's going to keep it from even getting to the point where they think, oh, I can strike my parent.
I don't think that's harsh though.
I don't either.
Like,
if it gets that far,
thing.
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think it's that harsh. Yeah, I agree.
Ain't something that I'm hearing about.
Yeah, like you striking your parents.
Even like they be doing that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
our community, that's not a normal thing. You probably
It's not.
get taken up.
Mhm. But just imagine having that on the books. And you know, this is the law. You gonna think I'll take you out. but that wasn't on the books. It was out there though. But like to think about it actually being like something you can face. Like it the same way if I go to court for selling heroin to a federal agent, then I might do like 5 in a federal prison and serve 85% of that. Just think to know, like, I definitely gonna face death if it gets to the point I think I'm gonna strike my mom, my dad. You ain't gonna be disrespectful. You ain't gonna be as quick to be disrespectful even just having that on the books. Verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. What happens if a kidnap? If somebody gets caught with kidnapped kids here in America? If somebody gets caught with some kids or something that they kidnapped, human trafficking. But let's just say it was just like you ain't even get that far. You just kidnap a kid, and like a week later, you get caught at your house and you got the kid in there, right? And I don't know, you was like a friend of the parent, whatever. You're gonna get charges. You're gonna go to jail. But is that really enough? Because if you didn't get caught, that mom wasn't going to never see that child again. That dad wasn't never going to see that child again. You deserve more than that. I think it's safe to say you deserve what God said you deserve. You deserve that death because you're a cancer to the community. Because if you can do it without consequences that are harsh, then the next person can. But if the next person sees that you actually did this act, you was caught with a man or woman that you had stole or you had sold, and you actually got put to death, everybody else is going to what? Think twice. Everybody else is going to think twice. If you went to jail and got sentenced to 10 years, everybody knows you eventually going to get out probably. And once you get out, you're going to forget about that time. And if you're good in there, you get out early. And then you can do it again. You might now you might just do it a little bit better. Nah. That's got to be gone. It's like a cancer. It has to be taken out altogether. Can't let it linger. So Most High's laws, judgments, they're all righteous. They're all righteous.
Could you imagine what that would do in this modern day to the Catholic order?
To the Catholic order? Well, the Catholic Church, thank God, would be not existing. All the rapings and stealings and it just wouldn't exist. Everybody would be, let's say fired from the movie. Be excommunicated for real. So God. Verse 17. And he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And we know curse ain't like saying bad words. Curse is trying to put it out there in the heavens for bad things to happen to someone. I mean, that makes sense too, because that's the same thing as if you bear false witness on somebody in a crime or whatever punishment they was going to get. If you be found to be that false witness, you get it instead because you was trying to have that happen to that person, and if it didn't go south, it would have happened. You deserve it. You deserve that. It's righteous judgment. Huh?
You want the others as you have.
Right. And also think about the Most High. If you get caught and it doesn't happen, it still counts. The Most High knows that if he didn't prevent it, you would have let it go through and that would have happened. So you deserve it. Now you deserve to suffer that. Verse 18, and if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. This is righteous, and this country is wicked. You can go to jail for a fight, striking somebody. The law teaches to man up, even in this. Like society, we shouldn't be so soft. We shouldn't be so soft. Like you get in a fight that wasn't even, you didn't provoke it, and you get beat up, or somebody just punches you in the face because they ain't like you. You want to send them to jail for 5 years. Nah, get over it. He has to pay you, so just take the payment. Take the payment and let it be, right? Because he has to pay. It says, let him pay for the loss of his time. It shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. So maybe you're suffering some mental trauma. You don't want to go to work for a month. Let him pay for your month off from work. Why send him to rot in prison for 5 years? Or however long it is. It could be 5 though, because they're gonna base the punishment off of the previous record. Oh, is you a nigga? Right? How about just he paid for your loss of time? Which, like I said, maybe you suffering little mental anguish from it. I need a month off of work. You got to pay it. But guess what? Toughen up though. Like this society is made. We know these laws are made to put niggas in jail anyway, right? But these things are dealt with in the law. Funny enough, and it's not as serious as prison time. But you are responsible for what you did. Verse 20, and if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. So that even shows that there's ways that we have to treat our servants. So how was we treated in servitude here? How did America treat their servants? How'd she treat her servants? How many servants here in America died by being smited with a rod or a whip or for sport or shot down in the field because he didn't like that his wife got raped? How many? Right? This lets you know, and unpunished. The law dictates that certain things, you can't just treat your servant however you feel. And if he die under your hand, it's cool. No, you there's punishments for that. Verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished. According as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. So if you strive and hurt the woman with child that of the man you're striving with, and the baby didn't die, well, the baby departed but didn't die. So you caused a miscarriage. You are punished and you have to pay for that. Not with your life, though, and not with jail time, which would probably happen here in America.
According to the husband.
According, but it says pay. He shall pay as the judges determine. But they're going to determine based off of the husband. Like the husband can't say, hey, I want him put to death. It's like, he shall be surely punished. Meaning next verse, he's going to die. If any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life. So this is after the baby's born. Basically the baby doesn't die. It's going into it's an early birth called a miscarriage? No. Then I shouldn't say miscarriage. The fight forces the woman into early labor. I said miscarriage first time. Early labor, the child doesn't die. He's punished, but he's going to have to pay what the husband determines, or the judges determine based off of the husband, right? If the child died, that's a miscarriage now, right?
Right.
Then, okay, if he causes a miscarriage, then thou shalt give life for life. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man smite the eye of his servant or the eye of his maid that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. So then that's also a way that your servant goes free. Showing also you can't just do whatever you want to your servants because they mine. You can't do that. And if he smite out his manservant's tooth or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. So what's that show? Don't abuse your servants. It's easy. Don't abuse your servants. And even if you need to correct them and chastise them with stripes, you can still do that without knocking their tooth out, knocking their eye out.
It's happening all in slavery in America.
Yeah, you can. You don't got to do what they did. You don't. If an ox gore a man or a woman that they died, then the ox shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten. But the owner of the ox shall be quick. So this is a ox kills your ox kills a man. You don't got to die in return, but the ox you still losing though, because that ox is bringing your money basically. You can't eat this guy. It's a waste. It ain't doing no more work for you. But this time you ain't responsible, so you good. But that's about to change. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, so that he had a problem, and it have been testified to his owner, and he have not kept him in, but that he have killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. So if you knew about it, and you didn't do anything about it, you're responsible for that life. And now you also got to lose yours. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. So there is hope, though. You have the option of paying, but that's if that ransom is given. So basically that means what? The owner might say, the victim's family might say, you know what, instead of taking his life, if he can give us this amount of money or agree to pay us this amount of money, every month, we say we can let him live. That's what the ransom is. So it's possible that you could get a ransom, but if the family don't want a ransom, you stuck. You out of luck. But it shows that we have to be responsible. It also shows what? Loving your brother as yourself. You know this ox has this problem. You don't do anything about it. You're leaving your brother, your sister, open to be a victim of this ox. You're supposed to take measures to make sure that the same way you wouldn't want somebody else's ox that's known to attack, you don't want their ox attacking you. You're supposed to do the same. Make sure that your ox isn't going to be able to attack and put them to death. You're responsible for that. Verse 31. Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment shall be done unto him. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. So once again, showing you do things, you're responsible for what bad fortune comes of it. So if you dig a pit and somebody else's ox falls in that pit, you didn't cover it, you didn't put something around it to let the next man know it's a pit here, and his ox, his money now falls into that pit, you're responsible for it. You have to give him money, and that dead beast now is yours, though, which you really can't even eat.
Right.
Because we can't eat something that died that way. But you can sell it to a heathen, though.
Yeah.
So maybe you get your money back that way. And if one man's ox hurt another's that he died, then shall they sell the live ox and divide the money of it. And the dead ox also they shall divide. So that sounds fair. Or if it be known that the ox have used to push in past time, so here we go with somebody not being responsible, and his owner have not kept him in, he shall certainly pay ox for ox, give a live ox for that dead one, and the dead shall be his own. So now he got to give up a live ox and keep that dead one that he can't even eat himself. So with that, that's the end of the chapter. We'll close out.
Most side had everything covered.
So he covers everything. And even these laws, you can take them and you can apply them elsewhere in different things of life.
Right.
Because, like, say you got say you own, what's them dragons, some Komodo dragons, right? Komodo dragons will eat anything, people included. And you know that you got them running free through your house. But you forgot something at your house. Maybe you think you forgot to turn the stove off, and you ask your neighbor, hey, can you go up in my house and check the stove for me? I left the door unlocked. Whatever. Like, who does that? Or hey, here's where the key is to get in my house. Go in and check the stove for me, please. But the Komodo's out. The Komodo eats the man, or maybe even tears off a limb.